Hi guys, welcome to another Really Rich TKD instructional video. We're going to look at Won Hyo today. As we did with the previous patterns, what we'll do is we'll look at the pattern, you'll get to see it in a minute, and then we'll break it down, look at the different parts of it. There's a few new stances that you need to learn, there's a few new techniques that you've not done before. We'll start to build it up and look at how you can really get to perfect it. As with before, we'll try and show you how to apply these techniques as if you were doing it against an opponent, as if you are being attacked or defending against multiple aggressors, and then build on that. So here you go, have a look at this video, pause it, rewind it, have a look at it again before you go into the description side of this if you want to have a look at it a few more times. All right, here we go. So that was the video. The pattern, it's quite a new pattern. It's a little bit more complicated than what we had with Dusan and Tangun and Chongji. There's a couple of there's a few more techniques. There's definitely a few more additional kicks. There's a few new blocks that you've not seen before. So let's start from the very beginning. The first three movements that you do, now again, as with other patterns that we've done, we repeat this 4 times, twice on the right, twice on the left. So it's important to learn. The first move, we've done this one before, is a twin forearm block, right here, right? So we want to be guarding something coming at us from the front, so we're going to be doing this outward block, so in this direction, it's an outward block here, and a rising block above our heads, right? So we want to get this clear over our head. So as you can see, it's not above my head there, it's actually coming out away from my body, so that I am definitely blocking and pushing it away from me. Following that, what we get is this inward knife hand strike. Now to execute this properly, we need to have our reaction hand, so we extend this hand. As you can see, my hips are now turning. I'm going to get my head twist coming in, and I'm going to get my hand ready just about near my eyes here. I'm going to slide in with the strike. Right? So I'll show you from the side here, over here. Okay, we're going to extend out there. I'm going to slide in with that strike. Very important that we get this hip twist. There's no movement of the feet, so you can see I'm not pulling my leg in or anything. So I'm here. I might twist across to really generate some more of that power. I'm going to slide in with that strike. Okay, what we're striking here is the side of the neck. So we've grabbed our opponent, if you imagine it, striking them on the side of the neck to get that impact. We're pulling them into our chest. So this is the position of this hand. So I'm going to grab and I'm going to pull into here, right? So you can see that it's nicely tied in. So we go from here and pull in, strike through. Okay. So those two movements, again, twin forearm block, grab, imagine it, so we're going to not really do that grab, we're going to just get our hand out, strike it. Okay. My hips haven't changed. I'm still here. Still sideways on. Okay, this is in that middle section. This right. The next move, this is where this transition comes. If you watch my L stance, right? Here's my L stance. Let's say, right, this front foot. If I put it on this block here, you can see this block here, and here. Now what's going to happen is I'm going to push this leg. I'm going to push this leg out to go into a fixed stance. It's quite a difference. Most of my weight is here, 70% for my L stance. When I go into a fixed stance, and you saw it's a huge step, right? It's a slight step forward. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put all my weight down the middle, just like we have in our sitting stance. The only difference is it's more of an L. It's an L shape, just like our L stance. The big difference is a bit longer, slightly wider. And these knees are still tracking, right? This is important. My knees are not. I'm not in a position where I can't bend this knee. It's going to go outwards. My knees are falling across, and I'm tracking over my legs. So that's important. How do we measure this? So same as before. We start in this kind of position here. So I'm going to face this way so you can have a look. I'm going to take this foot, I'm going to pivot, I'm going to turn it so it's in this L shape. I'm going to turn it one more time. So here we go. I'm getting into that L shape. Now, this could be an L stance for me. It's perfectly fine. I tend to go a little bit longer. So one more step across to go to my fixed stance. From here, it's again one more step. So if we measure that out again, so here's my chin B, right? I'm going to go, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3. This is a good fixed stance. This is a good position. I like to be a bit wider, as I said, so go a little bit wider and go into my fixed stance. I tend to practice my stances a little bit wider. I would suggest you do too. It'll help you when you're in that position where you're doing this for a grading or you're doing it in a competition. You really want to get this really right and you get all tense and you go bam, bam. Now, as you can see, stance isn't as big. That's not a problem. We practice it big, with our strongs and our head in the right place, our legs, strength developing. Quite important. Okay. Now, how do we move between those two stances? When we move from a small stance to a big stance, very importantly, you never pull your leg back in, right? Does it make sense? So I'm here, you watch this leg, sorry, go sideways. So I'm here. What I'm not going to do is pull this leg in. Okay, I'm not leaning back. This is not what we want to be doing. We're putting our weight forward. So the first thing is I might get my hips in the right place. You can see the hips are in the right place. I'm going to push that leg out, right? So again, if I do it slightly at an angle for you, here, I'm going to push this leg out, just straight up. So it's going to go straight up. Quite important part, right? We want to make sure we're pushing that leg out. We're not trying to restrict it. So the way to make it flow, you saw just then, I had a bit of a stick. It didn't flow easy. Of course, different floors you work on will be different. But the easiest way to get that flow to work is to lean back a little onto this leg. So okay, 70%, I'm going to increase it slightly and push forward. So most of the weight is here. Now it's even more weight and push forward. Don't pull the leg back in. Leg goes from where it is straight up. So those are the first 3 moves of your pattern. They are 3 moves that you repeat 4 times. Twice on the right, twice on the left. Practice. Very important. So here, okay. Quite easy to practice. You don't need huge amounts of space. You can do it. Again, like I said this before, while you're making a cup of tea, watching a bit of telly, just here. It doesn't need to be huge power. Just get used to that movement. No, I have it lucky because I can see myself in the telly, but you can easily do it in front of a mirror or have a look at your feet as you move through. Now, after you've done that, you have a new stance you've never done before. Bending stance. Okay? Now, there are 2 factors with bending stance that you need to remember. One, it is not the chamber for a side kick. So if I do my side kick, as if I'm going that way, my side kick chamber position, I'm going to bring my leg all the way across my body. I've got pretty much my back over that way. Very different to a bending stance position, which you can see is in the front. The knee is pointing, it's kind of directional here. Now, when you go into that bending stance, you want to drop your weight. Like we do when we do an L stance, we drop that weight. So we'll do the same thing with the bending stance. We'll drop that weight. This back knee's bent, bending stance. This front knee's bent. This leg, this foot, is protecting something coming up from this underneath here. But it's in a side kick position. So this is the foot position I have. Side kick position. So I'm here. Okay? So what that allows me to do is when I'm coming across, I'm going to go bam. And I'm going to drop into that stance, into that position. Stand up tall, and I'm going to be in this guard. These hands, it's the same as if we're coming forward with a L stance, not forearm guarding block. Right, same thing. Forearm guarding block. The big difference between these two things is this leg coming up. Right? That's the big difference. This leg is going to come up. One more time. Hands go in the same position as if we're going to go into an L stance, not guarding block. Only problem position difference is this leg comes up, or then goes down. Up, or then goes down. Okay? Both of those things are very important. What you execute straight after your bending stance, forearm guarding, here, is a side kick. So I need to go from my bending stance here into that side kick position when I kick out. Okay? So the changing of the knee, the angle, and if I do it sideways, bending stance, I bring my knee across. Right? See that difference here to here? A lot of movement difference. Then I kick. The next few movements you've done before, 2 knife hands. The bending stance again, you do it twice, once on the right, once on the left. Bending stance is one of these techniques that you will have to do quite a lot of going forward. Practice it quite a lot. Please remember there are 2 separate movements. Bending stance, side kick. There are 2 different movements. So you need to do your bending stance first, then your side kick. Practice that. So go from bending stance into a side kick chamber, back into a bending stance to a side kick chamber, back into a bending stance. You get used to it in both legs. It'll get easier. After you've done all that, you have a new block coming forward, backwards. A new block that you've not done before. It is a circular block, right? We're going to execute it to start with. Let's just start with Chin B. Okay? What we're doing is we're going to open our arms up. We're going to make a circle. So you can see this is passing in front of my groin. So it's going to pass the central line here. And I'm going to come up as if into a middle block chamber and across. Okay, so again, low block, middle block. You can see my hips, low block, middle block, right? If I do it in a static walking stance, hands are going to go up. Now, very importantly, I'm going to get that hip twist so we turn. Good. So this hand is now facing forward, this hand is up here. So it's quite high, right? So, this angle. Here we go. This hand's up here. This hand is quite high. Okay? As I come through, what's going to happen is it's going to go through that central line. Remember? Central line. Here. Right in this position. I'm going to go into that. And you can see my hips going from here, and they're continuing across. Right? Comes to the center, continues across. What I'm not doing is here, I'm going flat. I'm not staying in front. I'm going to make this shape. So this is this position, this position. If you look from the top down at me, what you'll see is an X. Right? Walking, and my legs. They're going in 2 different angles. So I'm making an X shape with my body. Here. Okay. Again, arms up, swing through, go across. Arms up, swing through, go across. Quite important to do that over and over again. Practice that. It's quite a lot of thought, thinking that needs to be done. These are not easy techniques. That is the entirety of your pattern. Those are the new things you need to learn. They're the bits you need to focus on. They take time. Don't rush. Have a look at the pattern again. Rinse and repeat. Look it over and over again. You will get there. we mix this with the virtual lessons, virtual tutorials we're doing. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section below. Make sure you hit that subscribe and ring that bell so you get notifications as we put new videos up. Well done today. Cheers.